Well, Coach, you mentioned Coach Castle there at the end. What went into promoting him to offensive coordinator this offseason?
I just think there was a genuine connect with our players' ability that he was able to see, and in the midst of me managing the game, had enough analytical yet cerebral mindset to know what was best for our team and know what guys were ready to make those plays. I just thought he was very in tune to our personnel.
You said it was the last two games that he took over play calling?
Yes.
Why did you want to make that switch at that point?
Yeah, we weren't having any success.
Do you think the offense I guess it's as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the offense might look different coming into the spring and next year with him having that responsibility now?
I think there's plays are plays, all right? So a pass play, a defensive coverage, a defensive front is the same. But what goes into it is timing. All right, what goes into it is ability to make the adjustment. And I thought that when Jeff became the caller, those things were heightened. He was more aware of what we needed to do and how we needed to do it. And it's not necessarily that it's new plays, it's just timing or a counter move of what someone else has done that position your players to be successful.
Are you happy with how many guys you have on campus for the spring? Is it a good?
Yeah, we got 94 total. That's including the walk-ons. Excited about our state. 64 players on our roster from Texas right now. We got the remainder of the class, of course, will be here first week in June. But yeah, I'm excited, especially at the quarterback position. Whenever you can get to it first, and you allow it to start unveiling itself, where guys compete for a position. I think it's big for your team because it allows you to start identifying, or guys start separating exactly the hierarchy of how that'll play itself out.
Is it possible for you to come out of spring with a guy who's kind of penciled in as a starter at quarterback, or how far can it go?
Yeah, I don't think the spring. I think it'll allow us to know that there's a fall camp, a summer, in increments of seasons of men who've gone to the forefront to position themselves. I don't plan on or think very. I don't think there's much thought that will be solidified in spring football, but I think it'll give you an idea of the guys that are competing.
Coach, on paper, the offense looks, there's a lot of talent there with some. Are you excited to especially get some of your recruits finally in? It's been a few years since you brought in some players.
Yeah, I'm excited about our backfield, with Sincere McCormick, Brendan Brady, B.J. Daniels. I'm excited about our quarterbacks. I'm excited about Frank Harris. I'm excited about Lowell Narcisse. I'm excited about JoJo. I'm excited about Sutton Sapien. I'm excited about Cordell Grundy, a year more mature in the system. We have two tackles that I think could be very good in this year, and Trey Shannon and Josh Dunlop at the two tackles position. I'm anxious to see the development in the middle at our center position. Of course, to see the development of Kevin Davis, Bosa, or will it be one of the young guys? But just open competition for the very best to rise to the occasion.
You think Frank Harris is excited to get back out there after not being able to be in full competition?
Yeah, he is. He certainly is. Yeah, and I'm excited for him that he gets this opportunity.
How does it work when you have quarterbacks who bring different skill sets to the offense? Is that because they each fit in different kind of systems or different kind of systems?
You could have a play called that's a base play, but if a quarterback has an uncanny ability to run with it, you just tag it to give him the duality of either to hand it off or not hand it off and pull it, or not hand it off and pass it. But the play itself is still the same play by design. It just gives him another option to be able to go to his strength, if that makes sense. And so guys who can do one thing better than the other will have liberty to expand on their strength.
Do you think if one guy emerges as the starter potentially into the fall, that then you sort of start to tailor the offense around that, or is it kind of stick to what you?
Yeah, again, it's still the run is the run. Now the run has an option of a pull. Also now the run has an option of the pull and pass. It's still the same play. You just have another addition you can do to it. So you don't have to come up with a new offense. You just tailor it based on what that guy can do.
Coach, you brought in Coach Ball as your, I guess, passing game coordinator. Can you just talk about what he brings to the table and what you expect out of that?
Yeah, so my years in Baton Rouge, Coach Ball was at Georgia, and we would get in fierce recruiting battles. You know, he with being the receiver coach at Georgia, and me being the recruiting coordinator at LSU, there were guys we covet that we shared in recruiting or likeness of, and so I was able to have conversation with young men and parents, and when they would speak, they would speak of him in higher regard of the character of the man he was, how classy he was, and so I didn't know him prior to that. He was just a guy at Georgia we were competing against. And then we had an opening at LSU, and we interviewed for him, and you saw him now as a coach, schematically. And one of the brighter minds in football that I know, a guy who is extremely sharp, very knowledgeable, but more importantly, can relate well and get the most out of his position group. And so when I first got here, we took a shot at him, and I didn't get him. And so in this year, we recruited him yet again, and this time we were able to nab him. And I think he's a tremendous addition to our football staff and our team.
You have some talent at the wide receiver position.
Yeah.
Your expectations a little higher on that passing game?
Yeah, it is. It is because of the growing up of Tyke and Tyreek, getting Blaze Moorhead back for another year, Sheldon Jones, Kirk Johnson, some guys who contributed a year ago, but really excited about the young guys that we have coming in, guys that we've competed with some of the upper echelon schools in the country for, fending off Tennessee, fending off Texas Tech for some of the very same players, guys who possess outstanding ball skills, explosiveness, run after the catch. The things that we covet from a playmaking standpoint, we bring an additional 4 to that room that gives us the size, stature, and speed that we desire.
What can you tell us about Carlos Strickland, and your name showed up on the roster?
Yeah, how about that? How do you know Carlos Strickland?
I got Google.
Yeah. Carlos was a pleasant surprise for us. We didn't even actually go and recruit him. He saw what we were doing from afar, of course, was a transfer, and wanted to be a part of our team. The first day we watched film was like, we can get this guy? And it's like, yeah, he's coming. So I wish I had a great recruiting story to tell you, but honestly, he kind of fell in our lap. And he's had a very good winter workout session for us. We're excited about what he can do.
On the defensive side, you added some transfers, Antonio Parks and linebacker. Those guys aren't going to be here. How difficult is it? Because it's almost like you're going to expect those guys to contribute next year.
Yeah, we are. So Antonio is a veteran player, played a lot of snaps at Arizona. Got a chance to know him very well when he was a high school player at East St. John High School. So know his abilities. Highly intellectual guy who will graduate here in May with 2 years of eligibility. And so that's huge for a veteran player. Dominic Shepard was a guy who was in the 2 deep at Virginia. And we just think that he gives us a maturity, a veteran player, with wisdom, with insight, with stature, with toughness, with command that can come in and contribute right away for us. Trevor Harmison is another young man who comes in at the linebacker position to contribute for us. We like his size, his speed, his production. It's hard to replace a Josiah Tawefa, but I think when you bring in the quality of guys that we have, in numbers, you find that strength. And so hopefully the production can continue to be where it was a year ago at our linebacker position.
Can you give us an update on Josiah's? I guess he's getting ready for the pro day here.
Yeah.
What have you heard on his end?
He's been training really well. Got a chance to visit with him a couple of times. He was down in Frisco, Texas, training at Exos, and heard good reports from him. He and Devin White and all of those guys were training partners there. Devin had nothing but good things to say about him, and of course Josiah the same about Devin. And so I think our pro day will be a big day for him, and his individual workouts with teams will be a big day for him. We've gotten some feedback. There's interest. And so hopefully he's continuing to train and do the things that he needs to position himself to maximize his draft potential.
You talked about the quarterbacks. Is there any other position groups that through the spring you're going to have a close eye on that really need to show something?
Yeah, the running back position. We have 4. We get Devin Boston back, who we lost in the last preseason game of fall camp. I think there's a role for him. He's a 240-pound man that gives us a physicality that we look for. Halen Stewart is a guy we're going to diversify his role. He's just too good of a player, too talented of a guy to keep off the field. And so we'll involve him not just in the run game but pass game as well and expand his role. 4 of the 5 tailbacks are here on campus. The only one not here is Ronnie Jackson, who will get here in May. But to have the rest of those guys compete and a heated backfield, will kind of reveal itself as well.
Are some of the position coaching searches still ongoing? Like running back, I think is still open, right?
Yeah, well, yours truly will go through that this spring, because there's a mentality that we want instilled in that position group. And so I'll have the dual task of coaching the backs this spring, and then make a decision shortly thereafter in that direction of where we want to go with the position. But I just want to get back to who we are. I've never been a part of a staff of a team that did not get the production that was of high altitude at the running back position. And we know how to coach it. We know how to get that position coach. And so I'm going to do it this spring to get us in position to be the best that we can be.
The run game goes hand in hand with the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
You lose a few guys due to graduation. How would you say that?
At offensive line?
One guy. Sorry.
John Wright.
Yeah. How would you say that group is? I know you mentioned them a few weeks ago. Is you like the numbers you have there?
We've been up and down from the time that we've gotten here. Your target number is to get 15 this year. We'll be at 13 next year. We'll be at 14, and because you just don't want to get too many in one class. But I like our veteran play on the edge. Need to establish depth at the tackle position. Inside, we have guys that have played a lot of snaps, that have cross-trained and played guard and tackle, but guys that have played a lot of snaps in the 2 deep there at guard and center. And so I just feel that group will be much improved. We'll have consistency with Coach Funk yet again here as the offensive line coach, and there's comfort. There's comfort with staff and players alike that will allow it to happen the way that we desire.
Just as a bit of housekeeping, I guess Coach Borges has moved on to a different opportunity?
He has.
Oh.
Yeah. Or he will be. He's still with us now, but he will be in short time. Mm-hmm.